This is Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review, and this is the first of a series of videos that I will be hosting for Sportsbook Review, previewing the college football bowl games this upcoming college bowl season. We're going to do a video right here for the 5 bowl games taking place on Saturday, December 17th to kick off the bowl season. We're going to begin with the Gildan, New Mexico Bowl. It's the New Mexico Lobos staying home in Albuquerque for this bowl game, taking on the Texas San Antonio Roadrunners in an interesting matchup. And I am going to say one thing right off the get-go regarding this bowl game, and just a general statement regarding the Mountain West Conference. I don't think it was that good this season. I don't think it was as good as it's been in years past. You look at the top 2 teams in the Mountain West Conference this year, Boise State and San Diego State. Not exactly teams that were as good this year as they've been in years past. Wyoming was a decent team. This New Mexico team was a decent team. Colorado State got hot late in the season. But outside of that, there was a lot of mediocre to bad football played in this conference this season. That's probably the big concern for me here this season, entering the bowl campaign, that the Mountain West Conference may be a little bit of a struggle for them here in these bowl games, and maybe a conference, especially if they get off to a bad start, that I'll be looking to bet against some of these teams. And New Mexico, you know, they are at home, but they've played at the New Mexico Bowl numerous times the last few years. You just have to worry if, you know, being at home for the same bowl game that they've played. Remember, last year they played in this bowl game, lost to Arizona. You just have to be a little bit concerned now about where things stand for New Mexico, just how excited they'll be. Bob Davie, the head coach, saying all the right things, that we're happy to be at home. We selected this bowl game of the choices we had because we wanted to play another home game, but coming out with that same intensity is another story. Texas San Antonio, I would make a point of it to try to read later in the week as we get closer to Saturday's kickoff. Enthusiasm there is with this Roadrunners program. They are bowling for the first time in program history since they joined FBS football. I would think there's going to be some excitement, enthusiasm for this game. Players will be fired up. They get another bowl game. They partied when they clinched bowl eligibility in the game that they clinched bowl eligibility, and they were quite happy to be playing in a bowl game. So I would think you're going to get a spirited effort here from Texas San Antonio. Is it enough to cover the number is one thing, but I do think you're going to get a team that's going to be coming out wanting to play well, excited to play this game, wanting to win this game here with this Texas San Antonio team as they make the trip to Albuquerque. And they might get a decent following because apparently they've really done a good job promoting tickets for this New Mexico Bowl, and we'll see if that affects the amount of fan support that the Roadrunners get for this game. All right, the next bowl game we're going to talk about, and I would probably lean at this point, by the way, to UTSA. Houston at San Diego State, the next game up. That's the Las Vegas Bowl. Great matchup, very interesting one. I would be cautious about betting against Houston here because, again, San Diego State, Mountain West, not exactly enamored with backing some of these Mountain West teams here early in the bowl season. Houston, I know the concern with them, laying 3.5 with them in this game, is the fact that the Houston Cougars, you know, with Tom Herman moving on to take the Texas job, does that maybe affect players' preparation, players' excitement to play in this bowl game? I'm not so sure. Major Applewhite's been promoted as a head coaching job. Todd Orlando stayed there and then will leave after this game, the defensive coordinator, and join Tom Herman's staff. So there's still going to be, I think, enough continuity with the coaching staff here for Houston that it's not going to completely throw the players for a loop. And let's not forget, this is going to be Greg Ward's final game as a Houston Cougar. I would think there's going to be a sort of a rally the troops kind of effort here from this Cougars team. And the Cougars do one thing very, very well defensively, and they have done all year. They've stopped the run pretty well. They're very good run defense, and we know that's San Diego State's strength on the offensive side of the football. It's running it with Donnell Pumphrey and only forcing Christian Chapman, the quarterback, to throw the football when he absolutely has to. So fundamentally, it might be a decent matchup here for Houston. Although I'm still a little bit concerned about just what kind of effort and emotion we're going to get from Houston. So that's the reason I'm not exactly enamored with the laying the points with Houston. But like I say, San Diego State's from a conference that I just don't really think was all that good this year. So it becomes a tough game for me to handicap, one I'd probably rather watch at this point than bet. I thought there was value under the total when the total opened in the 60s, but it's been hammered all the way down. It's in the mid-50s now, the total in this game. Not sure the value's there anymore. All right, next game on Saturday's slate, it is going to be the Central Florida Arkansas State game taking place. The Cure Bowl here in this one, and it should be interesting because Central Florida bowling 6-6 record. Really great season for Central Florida. Bounce back season after a dismal campaign last year. Great job by Scott Frost, the head coach, first year coming over from Oregon, and inserting Mackenzie Milton into the quarterback spot because the other guys simply weren't very good. Now, Milton had his ups, had his downs, but at least it's a sign that they are building for the future here with this Central Florida program, putting the young quarterback Mackenzie Milton in under center. I definitely think that is a positive moving forward for this team. Arkansas State, though, is going to be formidable defensively. There's a very good defense. They've come on strong late in the season. But what does concern me is Arkansas State and the Sun Belt tore up that league, tore it up. I mean, fantastic. They just ran roughshod over everyone in the Sun Belt. But look at their point spread record outside of the Sun Belt. 0-6 against the spread this year, Arkansas State in non-conference games. This is a non-conference game, so it makes me think that, okay, they're able to handle business within the Sun Belt, take care of teams that maybe athletically, from a recruiting standpoint, on par with them. But when they step up in class against teams from a little bit stronger conference, and let's be honest, the Central Florida's conference, the AAC, it's definitely stronger than the Sun Belt. This could be a little bit of a physical challenge for Arkansas State as they take this step up in class, because when they took a step up in class against some bigger conference schools early in the season, they didn't exactly fare too well. So I would probably lean Central Florida in this game. I'm not crazy about laying 5.5 against a very good defense like what Arkansas State can bring to the table, but just a little bit concerned about how they'll handle this, considering their non-conference record was not very good this season. Scott Frost, with time to prepare, might be a little bit of a tough thing for Arkansas State to overcome. All right, next one, we've got the CAMELLIA Bowl, Appalachian State taking on Toledo. The thing that concerns me about this bowl game for App State, great team. It's been a great season for head coach Scott Satterfield. It's a very good football team offensively. They've got Lamb, the quarterback, who had a very good season. Marcus Cox, a tremendous running back, and he's really the workhorse of this Appalachian State offense. But the concern for me is Appalachian State played in this bowl game last year. This very same bowl game, the CAMELLIA Bowl, same place, Montgomery, Alabama. They beat Ohio 31-29 in this bowl game last year. So there's going to be that excitement and enthusiasm to practice hard, to prepare hard, to get ready to play for the very same bowl game you played in last year and won. So motivation could be a little bit of a problem here for Appalachian State. We'll see if they bring it, but if they do, I think they're the better of these two teams. But let's not undersell Toledo. Toledo is a great quarterback. Logan Woodside was tremendous. He's going to be up against a very, very good defense, though. Appalachian State, a strong defensive unit, and a team that, as we've seen, outside of conference, they did pretty well this year, Appalachian State. They did a lot better in non-conference than Arkansas State, the other Sun Belt team that we just talked about, did. Don't forget, Appalachian State really gave Tennessee all they could handle in the very first game of the season way back in September. Toledo was very good outside of the conference, too. 8-0-1 against the spread for Toledo in their last 9 non-conference games. Very fascinating game. I would really make a point of it as the week goes on and we get more and more quotes from all of these teams and their beat writers to see just how excited and enthused the Mountaineers here of Appalachian State are for this game. If we get any hint whatsoever that they're a little bit down in the dumps, not overly excited to play in the CAMELLIA Bowl for a second straight year, maybe it's an opportunity to step in and back Toledo in this football game. All right, the fifth and final bowl game on Saturday is Saturday night, the New Orleans Bowl. in the Superdome. It's the Southern Miss Golden Eagles and the UL Lafayette Ragin' Cajuns. Seems like Lafayette's in this bowl game every time they're in a bowl game. They end up at the New Orleans Bowl, close to home, and it's the same thing this year for the Ragin' Cajuns. Ragin' Cajuns, a very odd year, but they did play a little bit better down the stretch. Anthony Jennings, the LSU transfer at quarterback, very erratic throwing the football, but you got to like their running game with Elijah McGuire. He was fantastic, over 1,000 yards rushing for the third consecutive season. And I think it's a good matchup here, taking on this Southern Miss defense. Southern Miss didn't do exactly a great job stopping the run this year. You look at their numbers that they allowed in terms of the ground game, not exactly impressive. 6 yards per play allowed by this Southern Miss defense. A Southern Miss defense that allowed 4.8 yards per carry, 152 rushing yards per game. So UL Lafayette should be able to move the ball here against Southern Miss, but Southern Miss probably capable of putting up points as well. Nick Mullins returned, the quarterback for Southern Miss, who's had a very good career there, returned from a concussion in the final regular season game for Southern Miss against Louisiana Tech, and it was a game that they had to win to ensure bowl eligibility, and they did get the win. It was a tremendous performance by Nick Mullins in that game. Just moved the football at will against Louisiana Tech, led his team to a big-time victory in that game against the Bulldogs. And got this team into a bowl game, and he looked really healthy. He looked the best he's looked in quite some time this season, and now you give him the bowl prep to get ready. And Southern Miss's offense could be a handful here for Lafayette. That being said, I think the line move's gotten carried away. Southern Miss was less than a field goal favorite when the line opened. It's now up to 3.5, even 4. Potentially showing up with Southern Miss as a road favorite. UL Lafayette, under this coach, in this bowl game, in this stadium, 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the spread. They've been to the New Orleans Bowl 4 times under head coach Mark Hudspeth. They're 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the spread. And that is going to lead us right in to my play. Well, it's not play of the day. I guess you could say play of the day because we're covering all the Saturday games in this video, so that's what we'll call it. Play of the day for the Saturday, December 17th bowl games. We're going to make it official, and we're going to go with UL Lafayette plus 3.5. Against Southern Miss. The Ragin' Cajuns plus 3.5 points against Southern Miss. Again, they've done very well in this stadium, in this bowl game, 4-0 straight up and against the spread since Mark Hudspeth's been the head coach when UL Lafayette's played here at the New Orleans Bowl. And I think they're going to be right in the hunt to win this game outright. Getting 3.5 points with the Ragin' Cajuns in this game is just a nice little bonus. So let's take UL Lafayette plus 3.5 in the New Orleans Bowl. That'll be the play of the day for the Saturday, December 17th college football bowl slate. All right, that'll wrap it up. I'm Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review. I'll be back to continue our bowl preview videos as we roll along throughout this bowl season. Until next time, enjoy the games and good luck.
Go to SBRodds.com. Browse, compare, and shop live odds available at top online sportsbooks.